Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my latest video. This one's about SORARE football, the new draft competitions, and this one specifically I'll be going over my final Serie A team, the Italian one for the draft contest. Please subscribe to my channel and like my content so that it gets viewed by more people. And I do have my SORARE referral code in there if you're interested in playing their various sports. So I posted a longer one earlier about my French league team, and then I'm going to do an update on my Serie A and in my La Liga and my Bundesliga in separate ones as I finalize them. Yesterday, I did a long video with each of my teams, and I only made a few tweaks on them. And one cool thing is I found almost all these players on my own. Mostly they're just numbered, analyzing data and then looking at tables. But then watching a video today of some expert guys who know more of the actual players and have seen them more than me. They had some of the same picks because a lot of it's looking for value on those salaries and the gems, and they are changing because of the games that just happened. So there's some have gone up and some have gone down. I believe it's because of games that just happened, but it was like the SoRare TV guys that I got a couple ideas off of, but most of this I found on my own. So the main tweaks I really made were adding better goalies on almost all my teams. The French one I already did a video about. That's probably my least stacked team, by the way. I didn't mention that in the video, but that one actually ended up not stacked at all, and I may need to change that down the road. But the only stack I have is like a Strasbourg goalkeeper and defense. But if you watch my League One video from earlier today, I explained with the PSG why I didn't end up going with that. So Serie A. Okay. I had already, if you look back at my last video, I took two Napoli players because they're running away with the league. In this case, I picked the forward Osimhen and the defender Kim Min-jae. And then two Atalanta players popped up, both young. Kuppenmeyer's midfielder, he's 45, he looks older than that. But and then Rasmus Holland, a striker, a forward. So I ended up with a 2-2 there. And then I already had this midfielder, Zaccagni, for 61. So in general, I'm looking to have one stud forward, one stud midfielder, one stud defender, a decent goalie, and then one other good player. And then the rest, I don't mind if they're cheap players or ones that have potential, but just to sort of have a lineup, not worrying as much about lineups, especially for week one on this. But I did see that my goalkeepers in general seem to be a little weak, so I wasn't allocating much to them. So in this case, what I did was the change I made was first, I added this Mike Maignan guy because everybody says he's one of the best keepers in the world, and he's coming back soon for Milan, I believe. So he is one of the most expensive, so he's going to be it's a good deal at 40. Basically, everybody's saying that he's one of the most picked. So I added him. I had a 44 defense person here. I took down to 40, and that allowed me to and also this goalkeeper. So that allowed me to add a better goalkeeper. And in this case, I decided to go with Provedal at 54 from Lazio. He puts up good numbers. He's on a good team. Because my other goalkeepers were both on bad teams. Now I've actually got two goalkeepers on good teams. I really only want one, but Lazio's got one of the best defenses in the league, and they're in fourth place. So what this actually ends up with, though, is a 2-2-2 stack. 2 Napoli, 2 Lazio, and 2 Atlanta. And then for my other one, I just found this DePaulo for a 40-pointer. I didn't really see a really good one that jumped out at me. And he's on Verona, which isn't doing that well, but you see he had a couple good games recently. So that basically is a triple stack of 2. But again, I mean, my France team doesn't even have, well, it has a small stack. But with the Italy, it ended up that way. And then so for starting, and also I mentioned, SorareData is what I primarily used, but also PlaySharper. PlaySharper is one that has projections of starting lineups and some projections of SoRare projected points. And then also a site, SportsGambler.com, has like injury information that's decent, among other sites that I look at. But so here I'm going to go with the Lazio goalie, and then I have the Napoli pair, and then the Lazio midfielder, although he got in the wrong spot here. So Zaccagni with Provedal, and then the 2 Napolis. And then the question is the extra spot. And all of these are attractive. I mean, especially these two. But I believe I'm going to go with Coop Miners because he's starting. He's been look at these steady numbers he's been putting up recently. So he's projected to start. And if you look, I've based a lot of mine on last 5, but also last 40. But if you look at the last 5 on this, I mean, that's a strong team. And then I think I'm going to go with the Osherman as the captain on that. So that's my Serie A team heading into it. I'm not doing the Pro 270s yet. I don't have enough good limiteds of these various leagues. The closest one I would have would be La Liga. But what you want to have is enough to fill up the 270 with your one common. But for example, in the French league one, you could use Messi as your common. But remember that other people might have him as a limited and can get him as a captain. But either way, these are really good ones to enter. I'm almost considering, because look, 10% of the people are going to get a card back as of right now. That's amazing odds for SoRare. Because not that many people are entering these or maybe understand them. But just to give an example, I don't have great limited cards in general, but let me just show here what I have. Like, for example, here, I have a couple decent, I have a few decent La Liga players. I don't have a La Liga goalkeeper. I don't have hardly any limited goalkeepers because they're expensive. But if let's say in my draft I have Oblak, but let's say I had a more expensive one like Courtois or whatever, but I put him in, that leaves 93 points left. That's too much. Okay, so like my top, let's say I have Benzema as my one, then I still would need another 28 points between these or something like that to have a good, strong team. So you're going to need guys in the 60s and 70s. I mean, basically it adds up to 54 points each if you back out of it with the 270 cap. It adds up to 54 points each. And so I'm not sure why. Does Benzema count towards that? Yeah. But you can only have one core, one common. All right, so that's it. Good luck. And so now these are going to continue through the season. And I think they're going to have monthly leaderboards and all that, like they did with the Global Cup. And you can make 2 changes a week. And I think it'll be based on the changes in your guys' salaries. So if you do get these 40s and lower ones that are going to boom, or might boom, it means you could end up, if you need to trade them, if you may be able to get a 50 or 60 point player. I believe that's how it's going to work. So good luck and have fun with it. It should be fun. That's my Serie A. I already posted my French League One. I'll just repost. I'll post my changes to my La Liga and my Bundesliga right after this. All right, thanks. Have a good one.